Welcome back. We're going to continue on with our review here. So this time we're going to be focusing on problems 7 through 10. I'm going to skip a couple problems here, but again, we're going to be following these same 4 steps. Distribute, combine like terms, move the variable to one side, and solve. Okay? So first thing I'm going to want to do is distribute if I can. So if I see a parenthesis, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm going to move that number in front to both of those terms inside the parenthesis. So 6 times 3 is negative 18x. Negative 6 times negative 6 is going to become positive 36. And then I still have this minus 1 hanging out. That was outside the parenthesis. And then we still have a negative 40 minus 3x on this side. Okay, next step is to combine like terms. I don't have any like terms on this side. It's an x and a number. And then this side, I have an x and 2 numbers, so I can combine those numbers, right? 36 and negative 1, going to combine to become 35. 36 minus 1 is 35. And then I have plus, and then that negative 18x, and then I still have negative 40 minus 3x. Okay, now, next step is to move the variable to one side, right? So we're going to move the variable. It doesn't matter which one we move. I usually like to move the smaller one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this negative 3x. So if I wanted to move it, since it's negative, I've got to add it to move it to the other side. So plus 3x. And then it's going to cancel out there. And I'm left with negative 40 is equal to negative 15x plus 35. And then at this point, it's just a 2-step equation, right? Party problem. So I've got a best friend and an acquaintance. I'm going to get rid of that acquaintance first by subtracting the 35. Negative 40 minus 35 is going to be negative 75. And that's going to equal negative 15x. And then 75 divided by 15 is 5. So negative 15 divided to both sides. And since that's negative, it becomes positive. We're going to have 5 is equal to x. And that's our answer. Okay? Again, if you want to pause and look at that work a little bit closer, you can. It is right there. But we're going to move on to the next problem, which is number 8. So again, our first step is to distribute if we can. So here is one of the most commonly missed type of equations that you guys generally have, because you have these 2 numbers in front of the parenthesis, right? But this number is not tied to the parenthesis. This number is. You do not combine like terms first. And that's why, because sometimes you need to distribute one of these numbers first, right? That's why we distribute first. So we're going to take this negative 2, and we're going to distribute it into the parenthesis first. Okay, the 8 is still out front here. It didn't go anywhere. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 10 would be negative 20 equals negative 12. Okay? Now the next step is to combine like terms. So there's only one term on that side, so it doesn't have any like terms. This side I have 8 and I have negative 20. So if I combine 8 and negative 20, I have negative 2x. 8 minus 20 would be negative 12 equals negative 12. Okay, then next step would be this is to solve, right? There's only one variable, so we're just solving. So we are going to take there's a best friend and acquaintance. We're going to get rid of the acquaintance, so that minus 12, we would add 12 to each side. And we would get negative 2x is equal to 0. Now this is a point where some students might stop, but your x isn't by itself, right? We still have to get rid of that negative 2, divide by negative 2. And if I have nothing and divide nothing twice, I still have nothing. X is going to equal 0. And that's your answer there. Okay? Not too tough, right? Let's do one more. Let's look at number 10. So number 10, page 76. So again, our steps are distribute, combine like terms, move the variable to one side, and solve. So there's nothing to distribute here. So the next step would be to combine like terms. Well, there's no like terms on this side. There's a variable and a number, so they aren't like terms. This side we have two variables and a number, so the variables can combine. We have a negative 3x and we have a 3x. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0, right? So they're going to go away, and we're just going to be left with negative 8 is equal to 6 plus 2x. And there's only one variable. Oh, my lights just went out. Ah! Turn back on. There we go. Sitting still for too long. Sorry, guys. I'm sure you guys got a kick out of watching me wave my hands. But we have a party problem here left, right? We got an acquaintance and a best friend. We want to get rid of this acquaintance first. He's positive, so we're going to subtract him to move him to the other side. And negative 8 minus 6 is negative 14 equals 2x. And then we get rid of our best friend by dividing out the door. And negative 14 divided by 2 would be negative 7. And that's my answer. That one looked more complicated than it actually was, right? All right, one more section left that I'm going to do here.